In the previous lesson, we looked at some brief examples from well-known songs of the use of a progression that I and others call the major chromatic drop, which describes movement within a major chord in which the root descends a half step to the major seventh, and then another half step to the dominant or flatted seventh, and then resolves some other chord. Famous examples being the beginning of the Rain song by Led Zeppelin, and of course, the verse to Something by the Beatles. I'd now like to talk about another similar type of progression in which you have that kind of descending movement within a major chord or starting on a major chord, and this goes right down to major scale. It's called diatonic movement as opposed to chromatic movement. Let's check this out. The major diatonic drop is a somewhat tamer sound than the chromatic, but it's nevertheless pleasing to the ear, and it's a workable device to use if you're a songwriter. Probably a good, simple example of what I'm talking about here to start off with would be, I know I've used the example before, but Glenn Campbell's 1967 country pop hit, Gentle on My Mind, which he performed with a capo at the first fret. Okay, so he begins on D, and then D major 7, and then D6, D. So it's notice I played the same D chord first and then the last chord, but your ear is kind of drawn to this. So it's hearing that. So a tempo, it's like. And it goes to E minor. Okay, so the moving line. I've seen live videos where Campbell will play the D like this. And then you play the D6 like that. And then D. It's just a matter of personal preference, taste. You know, D6 here would be, you have the root, the fifth, and the sixth. And then the third on top, a nice couple pairs of fifth intervals, actually. And as opposed to this D6, where you have the root, the sixth, the root doubled, and the third. So there's no fifth in there. D6 like that or like that. And keep in mind that because of the capo, we're up a half step in E flat. And some other ways you can play that progression using open chords that sound really appealing and nice and are convenient for the fretting hand. You can go C, C major 7 like that, C6, C. So say if I'm going to strum that in tempo, I'd go. You could play in the key of G, you can go G5 like this, and then you can do, kind of like sounds like the Rain song, right? And then you can go G6, G5. You get like a 12-string effect, you know, because you're doubling that line, emphasizing it by doubling it in octaves. Or you could just do it on top. Just make that your highest note to emphasize, you know, the descending line. You could also do it in the key of F. If you want to, if you're used to hooking your thumb over here, you can go play F like that, F major 7, F6, and then F like that. Or you can try to include all 6 strings and do a little mini bar on that for the F first chord. You know, as opposed to playing a full F, it's the same notes. Here you have to sacrifice, okay, the F note to get that. And another, this one's probably even better, is to go use the key of E. There's your major 7, it's kind of buried in the middle register, and then your 6th, your 5th. So the descending line is E, D sharp, C sharp, B, right? Because it's the E major scale. So we're going. And then you could do the key of A. You can go A like that, A major 7. Or like this. You want to get the high E in there, and then A. So you can go. Keep in mind, you don't have to use that kind of country rhythm. You can use any rhythm you want, you know, or you could just play it like slowly or just straight quarter notes, if you're writing a song like a ballad or something. You could also do 3rd fret. Oh, this example, is Billy Joel's She's Always a Woman. Okay, it's a piano-driven example. It's in the key of E flat, and second phrase of each verse, he goes to the 4 chord, which would be A flat. I'll play it without the capo first. A flat major 7, A flat 6, A flat, that part. But I play it capo to 3rd fret. It's more convenient and a little more graceful on the guitar to go. Or actually goes back to the major 7th. So it's. Be careful not to hit the B or high E string. You could probably do this. That way, if you do hit the B string, you're going to hit the 5th, which is an agreeable chord tone. Very majestic classical sound. Keep in mind, with all these examples, you can play them in reverse order. Like you don't have to go major, major 7, major 6, then to a major or down to the 5th. You can do it like in reverse order. Say if you want to go E. So I'm doing E, E6, E major 7, E6. Kind of sounds like that Tina Turner song, The Best. Or you could, in the key of C. Or take whatever rhythm you want. I'll do it in the key of A. I'll go. That could be a soft rock ballad, right? Getting back to more rock and roll examples here. The intro and verses to the Ozzy Osbourne power ballad, Mom, I'm Coming Home, feature a beautiful part performed by Zakk Wylde on acoustic guitar, doubled by a 12 string, and it's tuned down a half step. So it's played in the key of E, as if it were in the key of E, but because of the down a half step tuning, it sounds in E flat. And here, Zakk's walking right down the E major scale, and then he continues. So if you hit that low pedal tone, probably finger style. I think he probably flat picks it. Beautiful. So that's like a rock song that uses the major scale. Who says the major scale isn't for rock, right? A couple more classic rock examples would be from the Beatles catalog. Hey Jude, written by Paul McCartney, Sir Paul McCartney. The bridge or pre-chorus, he's in the key of F. So he's going to with a 4 chord, which would be B flat. C7, F. Okay, so that's B flat over A. Now this is interesting. It creates a kind of a dissonance, right? That's like, you wouldn't want to hang out on that chord or end a song on that chord. But when you go to the next chord, that tension that's created by dissonance is relieved. So tension and release, very important concept in music and harmony. When you're writing a song, you want to have like a push and pull. So, and you can think of that as B flat over G or G minor 7, also known, and then B flat over F. And what's interesting here is that our walk down is now on the bottom in the bass. And you could alternatively play that capo 1, in which case you would just play an A chord. I use the rock A, A over G sharp, A over F sharp. Use the thumb, like a lot of rock players do, and that's also F sharp minor 7, A over E, and then B7, a nice cowboy voicing, resolving to E. So it's on that B7 chord, by the way, I actually also kind of fretted the low E string with the tip. That's called shared fingertip fretting. If you have like flattened fingertips from years of playing, it's kind of easy to do. You get that extra low bass note in there, it sounds nice. And finally, fellow former Beatle John Lennon used almost the same move in his classic piano ballad, Imagine. And okay, that's in the key of C. And then on the chorus, or you could play it here. F, A minor over E. See, now we don't have that clash between. I guess Lennon was a little more conservative in his use of dissonance. And then D minor 7, you can play it here. F over C. So it's very elegant. G, C over G, G7 with the A string muted. So one more time, that's. Hear the common tones. So take this move and try to mess around different keys. Who knows, you might use it in part of an original song, and yeah, have fun.